portrait of Bandi Balaya Naidu by C. Rajaraja Varma is of course a work of great charm and character, but to me it also has a certain historical significance. Remember that the Varma brothers painted for most part in the late 19th century, when Indian nationalism hadn't quite bubbled up in the way it would in the decades after their death. On the contrary, in their time, the nationalistic movement's icons were these native statesmen, that is to say, Indian men or brown men in positions of authority despite the British Raj. There were, of course, hundreds of princely states in India, and in Rajaraja Varma's diaries, we find a list of native statesmen that they had painted at different times and who were serving as ministers to various Maharajas. For instance, T. Madhavrao, who was Diwan or minister to the Maharaja of Travancore, Sheshaya Shastri, who was minister to the Maharaja of Pudukkottai. In these princely states, these men would make an effort to show that Indians did not need British guidance or support in governing themselves, that natives knew exactly how to rule themselves without any support from the white man. It was essentially trying to puncture the moral case for British colonialism, or at least the case the British put out to justify their presence in the Indian subcontinent. Bandi Balaya Naidu was a similar man. He was minister to the Maharaja of Vijayanagara. But for me, a more charming anecdote actually comes from 1903-1904. In that time, there was an effort being made to create an Indian cricket team that would go and play against the British cricket team in Britain. This was a time when Indians were still playing in very segmented clubs. There was a Parsi cricket club, there was an Islamic cricket club, there'd be a Hindu club spread around different cities. The very act of attempting to create an Indian cricket team was an act of nationalism. And one of the figures offering to support this partially was B. Balaya Naidu, or none other than Bandi Balaya Naidu of this particular portrait. He occurs recurrently in Rajaraja Varma's diaries as a friend, as a patron, and even a host. At one point in Madras, he gets them to move out of where they're staying and come and stay with him because he was a very good friend of theirs. So this portrait isn't just a likeness that Rajaraja Varma did of some random man from the 19th century. It is a painting of some historical significance and of historical value as well.